Hey, 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 eat like a bear for weight loss. What is it that we do back here and how are we crushing 2024 together? So, if you are new and finding us, we are time restricted eaters, intermittent fasters, and you can find so much about what we eat here on this very YouTube channel. Because today we're talking about goal setting, some community wide challenges that are coming up. Because the thing about it is, we need what we eat needs to be on point. But the real key is eating that thing every single day to get to our long term goal. And then off into the sunset. How do you do that? How do you not just fall back into the pizza or whatever else? And the answer ends up being some of these community wide things that we are doing. And so please, if you're new, find all of our how to eat content here on this channel. And it's all just suggested. It is a way to help you find your path and the approach to eating that's going to work for you. And I certainly feel that whatever you might do might not be the same thing that I do, and that's fine. But there's some great stuff about what I do that's working for a lot of people. So it will at least help educate you, or that's kind of the wrong word, but like weave it into your own wisdom. Let all of us share our wisdom and make our own paths. Okay, so that is what we do here at Eat Like a Bear. But today's video is about two key things. I want to get two there. And the first is how we're thinking about goals and our challenges as we move into the next couple of months. All right, that's number one. And number two, you're going to hear all this stuff about the eclipse. You're like, what the heck? What the heck? Okay, because we have a meetup, an in-person meetup on the week of April 2nd, leading into the April 8th total solar eclipse. And if you just hang with me in all this, it will make more sense because it's truly not obvious. Okay, but we're going to be talking about those eclipse logistics, the effect on all of us, and our own challenges, our own goals, and all of that. So these two distinct topics end up not being super distinct and will come together. But first, because regardless of who's going to join us in the Ozarks of Arkansas for the eclipse or join us digitally in that week leading up to it, regardless of all that, we can all be working on our goals. Okay, we can all do that. Let's first start talking about that. But let me just say hello to everybody. Oh my goodness! So Geraldine, Ingrid, Linda, Moira, Ruth Ann, Emily, Marie, Cindy. You guys, Sue is here. Sue is here under a pseudonym. See, learning everybody. Rebecca, Eclectic. That's not a pseudonym at all. We don't know who Eclectic is. Okay. Anyway, yeah, that's Deneen. Okay. So good morning, everybody. I want to say this. So an eclipse. You're getting here, I am leading with the eclipse. In 2017, there was a total solar eclipse that was viewable across a large band of North America. And I traveled with my family to Wyoming to view it. And it's something we'd actually planned for about 10 years. And I'd heard it was just an amazing experience. It's when the moon goes in front of the sun, and because of the size and the distance and all that, it completely covers it, which is a completely unique experience, like out there in the solar system, that we would be in a planet that had a moon that could completely cover the sun sometimes, and that we would be in a certain place on the earth, because you have to be in a certain spot to be able to see it completely cover it. You can see the solar corona. It's spectacular. In my case, we planned it for 10 years. It is the reason my schedule at the time, I was seeing a bariatric surgeon, which I never had bariatric surgery. And the reason is our schedules didn't align. Why was I not flexible? Because I planned a family vacation for 10 years, this total solar eclipse. What I hadn't appreciated was maybe the power of these moments of such an amazing physical experience. I'm there and I am just essentially imagining I'm going back home to do this, to implement this way of eating idea that I had. I was going back. So that was like my before after moment with my own weight loss. And so you guys know I lost 140 pounds, and 120 of it was after that eclipse. And that eclipse was my before after moment. That was how I launched myself. And I've taken it for granted so much of all these years. But as I look back on it, and I now look at, in the community and look at myself in in, getting started again, or kind of getting in the groove of it again, I realized how powerful that was for me. That was that key, like, okay, I'm gearing up. I'm gearing up. There's the eclipse. I'm viewing it. And now I get started. Huge, 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 powerful before and after moment, like setting your intentions and all that. And the thing of it is, we all have this issue of getting wishy-washy with, when are we really starting or whatever. There's something very powerful about the moon and the sun and their schedules making your schedule for you. Okay. And so it just worked. Okay. It just worked for me. So the question, 2024, can it work for all of us? I think it can. And so what we're doing here, okay, so this is about our goals, our challenges, and all this. We're like, that's kind of interesting. And so a year ago, I actually came out here and said, hey, it was early April. I said, in 1 year, we will be viewing the total solar eclipse together. And so in this next year, what can you do to, reach your goal a year from now? Well, we're coming up on that year. We're going to celebrate the things that we've achieved in the year. But the big thing is, what are we doing moving forward? And this is for everybody at any stage at all. I mean, I'm very advanced in how to lose weight. Very, very, very advanced. I am so excited about this opportunity that's coming up to improve my own life. Okay. So what is it that I did in 2017 that we're going to try to replicate? First of all, a big thing that I did, it, again, all unplanned, no, like any of this, like, let's use the eclipse thing. No, and my whole thing was unplanned. I just feel like the luckiest, happiest, most case of biggest serendipity on the planet, in the whole Milky Way universe, and any place that might have a total solar eclipse, anything. Okay. What I did in those weeks where I knew I was going to go to the eclipse trip and I was coming back and that was my launch. Gonna do it. Okay. In those weeks leading up to it, I was very reflective on what it was that I would actually do. If you know my case, so my story, I worked on it in that fall after the eclipse, like the details of it. I was working on it. However, in the days prior, I really was getting right up here and really thinking through where exactly I should start, so that I had a plan in place and I knew exactly what I was going to do when I got home. I had that whole plan, had it all ready, and had just worked it over so much in here. I was just ready to just leap, just go. And there was no putting it off. Now, in my case, I traveled back from the eclipse. So I knew, like, as we traveled back around August 25th, I knew when we would be coming back. And so I told myself, I must start by September 1st. And I made that decision before, like in the weeks before. Like, okay, you're doing this, you're processing what you're doing, you're reflecting, you're making a plan, and you will start no later than September 1st. And as it would turn out, I started, I believe it was August 31st. It might have even been the 30th, but I started a day early because I was just ready. I'm like, I'm ready to get started. I'm ready to get going. And so then I did it, because, it's easy to put off the start date. So I'd given myself, no, you must start by this date. Because, see, I couldn't start on the 26th. It wasn't reasonable. I'm in the car. I'm traveling with my family. That is an unreasonable way, I think, to get something really super organized and started. Like, give yourself a little grace, get that going, but don't put it off. Okay. And so I use those weeks beforehand to reflect, to prepare, to get myself right up here. Okay. That's what I'm doing in these weeks right now. And that is what we should all be doing with whatever it is that we're about to launch. Okay. So at my stage, it's different because my eating is really pretty on target. And so my questions will be a little different. Many people in the community will be looking more specifically at what they're eating and how they're going to structure their days and their lives to get that more on point, more consistent, so that we can all meet our long-term goals. And so all of us at different stages, that's beautiful because we can help each other. Okay. Okay. And don't think like you're too much of a beginner or too advanced. We are never too advanced. And if we feel like we're too advanced, we're being arrogant, frankly. So, what we're doing, we are in these weeks. We're in the weeks of preparation right now, you guys. Right now. Okay. Because that moon is going to cover the sun on April 8th at about 1 p.m. Central Time. So we'll be in the Ozarks. And it depends on where you are. Okay. And the exact time and all that. And that's our before after moment. Now, if you can view it yourself, all the more it's truly amazing. It is hard to fully communicate how amazing it is to view it in totality. Now, there will just be a narrow band of the United States and down into Mexico, a little bit up in Canada, where you'll be able to view it in totality. We will be in the Ozarks viewing it in totality. Okay, so this was point one. We're working on that before after moment as a community, and we're now in the gear up stage, and we will all be launching ourselves in one way or another. I mean, nobody has to, right? But this is your opportunity to do it and to do it together as a community. That's what's don't don't overlook this amazing moment we all have together. And so what and just a little bit on the structure of this. So we're now in the pacing pondering stage, and anybody who's in the deep den or the recipe finder, there is a huge collection of resources for you in like starting and getting started materials that's in the den that you have access to. And guys, that any of you who are not in that community, that's just an area. So I have, say, more advanced psychology, mostly videos and content that's in there for members. And so you guys should all be members. Everyone should be a member. Everyone should be a member. So it does cost. We will talk more about a little bit about that. But let's not get distracted by that, because everybody, we could all ponder and pace. And I had none of my own psychology content back in 2017 and managed serendipitously to end up here. So we can all do it. Okay. And let's see what we will be doing. So April 8th is a Monday, and that is the eclipse. And then we will be doing a 7-day challenge. So, we recently had this 30-day challenge. That was a little bit long. This will be 7 days, but we're going to do something kind of different in how we discuss it and use it to sort of launch ourselves. And I'm just saying this in general so that you can kind of start thinking about this. And that is, so there'll be so from, let's say, we view the eclipse on Monday, the 8th, and then say from your launch date for your 7 days is somewhere in the time frame I'm encouraging you of April 9th through the 15th. That's about 1 week. That gives everyone a little bit more flexibility. Look, come in later. That's okay too. Do what you need to do. Okay. But I'm just giving suggestions that you're launching yourself in your own 7-day thing. Like, we don't all have to start at the exact same minute, because some of us will be traveling back from the Ozarks. Okay. And you're going to do your 7 days. You're going to say, wow, I can. Maybe if you're super new, we have a 3-day challenge. You can start with 3 days. Okay. And what you do is, say you start with a 3-day challenge and you say, wow, I'm on day 2. This is feeling really powerful and amazing. Yes, I can do 7 days. I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to go for 7 days. So you don't stop at 3 days. Right around day 2, maybe early day 3, you're like, I'm in for 7. Then you get to that point of, you start feeling really powerful, like, wow, this is amazing. And gearing up your brain, like, I know I can do more than 7 days. Okay. So then before that 7 days comes to an end, probably on about day 5, you realize, wow, I can do this for 30. Okay. And you make that commitment to yourself to extend it from 7 to 30. Okay. And now you know what you're doing around day 20. Okay. Because you're extending it again. Because I will tell you this, I feel like an expert on this. If you wait till the end of day 20 or day 30, and then, or day 7, or whatever the end of the thing is, and you haven't made that kind of commitment to yourself, you'll lapse back a little, at least, maybe not completely, but you will. That's just what we do. Okay. And we always want to eat all those things. And so staying focused and staying committed is the key, long game. Getting to a life-changing weight so you can get out and live your best life is what we all have to do. And this is a strategy to get there. So what everyone's going to be doing is starting your either 3-day or 7-day, however you want to craft it. I will be doing a 7-day. I think a lot of people in the deep den will be doing a 7-day. And then that will be sometime between April 9th and 15th that each individual will get started. Okay. I will start on April 12th, which is a Friday. And I'm kind of going to do it in a special way, but too many details. So I think I'm excited about my 7 days. Okay. And I'm going to leverage my 7 into 30. Okay. So that's kind of the structure that we're going to do. And so that is what everyone should be thinking about and doing. Now, is there support for all this? Well, you will see me in my 7 days out running around like you did in my 30. But there is really extensive support in the deep den. And we have introduced something in the Recipe Finder community just as a kind of a special thing we're trying out for this season. Because this is such a big deal to me. I feel like this is an amazing moment for all of us here. Okay, and so April 8th, the total solar eclipse gives all of us that deadline, okay, that time to start. And people, like if you're just home and you're not traveling and maybe you view the partial, okay, you can get eclipse glasses and view the partial. And that can be your right then. You could start right then. That'd be amazing. That would be amazing. The flexibility in this is just because we all have different calendars and all that. Each of us needs to choose a way to start, needs to do it in a way that we know will maximize our success, okay, individually. And so just community-wide, I'm just building in this flexibility so that we all have it. But I think I can imagine it would be really amazing for somebody who's just right at home and ready. And that's it. That would be amazing. Okay. But then there are a lot of us traveling into the Ozarks. And so we're the little asterisk. And anybody, wherever you are, so Google Eclipse map and say you're in Ohio, you will be able to drive into that band of totality and view it. And if you live in it, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And if you don't, but it's drivable, you need to go. You need to go view it. It's once in a lifetime. This is complete bucket list, like off the chain. Cannot recommend enough. Cannot overemphasize. And I know it's going to feel crazy. There will be everyone driving in. It's worth it. It's worth it. Okay. So I'm going to look real quick for any questions related to things like goals and the challenges. And there will be more details about all this, but I want everyone to have this bigger view of what we're about to do here in this community. Because it's so easy because we're already back here. We're going to be in Arkansas in 2 weeks. It's upon us. Oh, and Michelle is from Italy. Okay, so Michelle's not getting in her car to view the eclipse. So Michelle, you can still use this. There will be so much energy floating around in here, and it can still be like an amazing time to get going. Totally, totally amazing. Okay, let's see. And let's see, Victoria's in New England. And so Victoria, you should look into where you could drive, though I hadn't really appreciated the point. Jackie Pick brought it up to me that y'all are going to be snow covered and everything else up there. That's going to add its own little asterisk to viewing the eclipse, plus the cloud cover. There's clouds. There's a high chance of clouds all across the nation, especially, down into, the most southern part of Texas is the best forecast, but we're all rolling dice. I don't know. I feel like in my life, when I'm in these situations where I'm rolling dice, I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm living a little better somehow. So I'm there for it. We viewed the annular eclipse in October. We did mile 1 of the century hike in October, and Frederick and I, and there was cloud cover, and it made it better. Like, wow, it made it better. Century hike. Oh my gosh. Let me make a note. I have my paper for today, but it's in the car. I was going to do this video from a lake, but I got to stay here because we got to get our eclipse schedule finalized. And that is what we're doing. Okay, Grace, Good afternoon from Ohio. So, Grace, you're drivable to somewhere in the band of totality. You know it. You gotta go see it. Must see, required, required. Oh, and you guys, look at this Ohio representing. This is amazing. And let's see, Marcia is in Tennessee, and so I don't think there's any of Tennessee, but you're adjacent to the band of totality at least. So let's see. And oh, transformation in progress. You know what? We are all always a transformation in progress, aren't we? And I'm so glad you got to be here for the live video. Hopefully you're still here because now I've yapped for 15 minutes. Okay. So let's see. And terrain in Connecticut. I'm trying to think. You're drivable to the band of totality for sure. So you should go terrain for absolutely go. Geraldine Geraldine is in Louisiana, drivable. Okay. Oh wait, Ingrid from Missouri. So there might be, I think, a little corner of Missouri that's in the band of totality, but most people are going to be driving to closer to center line. And anyone who's in like 99 or 98%, everyone says, well, that's okay. It's not. Okay. You need to drive into 100%. I mean, if you're that close, do it. Do it. You're going to do it. Regardless, you're going to set your goal and participate in our challenge, regardless. But it is an amazing experience. And let's see, Emily actually lives in Texas in the band of totality, and she's coming up to visit, to hang with us in the Ozarks, which I think is so amazing. That's truly amazing. Eclipse travel is crazy, as you guys will see if you start to look into it. Now, we are coming in early and leaving late, and so we're missing most of the crowds and all that, though that's a whole other discussion. But anyone who's planning on driving in like the day of, you need to get in front of that and make a plan. And I would leave, depending on the situation, I'd plan to leave at 4 in the morning to get where you're going, and then stay over, like, or at least stay a few hours before you get into the traffic. Okay. Rebecca is in blustery upstate New York, where you might live in the band of totality. It does go through upstate New York. I think it goes through Rochester. And so there could be amazing stuff to see there. And now Sue would be drivable. You're at least drivable to somewhere. Well, at least into Ohio. I can't remember how it curves. Sue's in Illinois, I think. I can't remember now. Or Indiana. Sue's up in there somewhere. In Chicago a lot. So I think you're going east a little bit if you're gonna go into it. Now, eclectic is Deneen. Now, Deneen, I'm trying to remember because I think you are driving into it in Ohio. I think. Look at all you guys from Ohio. Okay. All right. So Cindy is asking in the challenge, is there a specific goal or different goal for all of us? So what I want you to do, that is such a very great question. Cindy, what everyone needs to do is look at their lives and look at the most impactful thing you can do to help you reach your long-term goal. That will be different for each of us. There is no, like with goal setting, there's no good cookie cutter approach. Now, and it could be that it's as simple as implementing one meal a day every single day. And if that's the case, and a lot of us do that, and if that's the case, then I would think being reflective on the things that are keeping you from doing that and trying to make some changes, maybe in your kitchen, in your preparation, or maybe in your own knowledge of how to put the meal together. That's what I would be working on now. Okay. And that is that's a great way to prepare and to kind of get ready is to just kind of work on upping your game, both in terms of your technique in the kitchen, identify the meal that's working for you, and then working on making it more efficiently, having your pantry stocked a little better, that sort of thing would be really great. That would be amazing preparation. Okay. And then so that you then launch with more tools in your belt to really set yourself up for success. Okay. And everyone's is going to look a little bit different. It's interesting because so we're just talking about Sue and up in Chicago. And one of the things Sue realized that, none of us could have ever expected, and this was like a year ago. So I'm curious if what's happened with this with Sue. But Sue was always in her kitchen. And she was even folding laundry in her kitchen. And so everything she was doing was in her kitchen. So she was also around food all the time. And she realized, wait a minute, one thing I need to do is move some of these chores out of the kitchen. Well, I don't think any of us could have ever, we'd have to do a home visit to even see that, you know? But Sue, it took Sue seeing it in her own life to realize that was going to be a major, potentially impactful change that she needed to make. And so I give that example because we all have things, and many of us have common things, okay? But many of us have certain things that are really keeping us from that goal that aren't that obvious to the rest of us. So open up, open up your mind. And so, one thing I've been doing lately for myself, and this would be really a great way to spend these next couple of weeks, I have been going to a few hikes, and they all have creeks and rivers. And a river, a creek, a moving body of water is, a symbol of like moving forward of your path. It is what, when people, back in the days before maps or whatever, when they're trying to find like, let's go to the next place, they're following rivers. That was the way to show the direction. And so sit, lay down by a river and reflect on your path. Okay. And be open to the things that you need to do to really make your life easier rather than harder. Because frankly, it's hard to live at high weights. It's really hard. It's very hard. Physically, it's hard on our health. And we live in that shame. We live in, regret and second guessing. And all of that has its own cost on our psyches. Okay. All of it does. And so, how can we organize this up here, be more strategic up here so that we're not in a constant battle with ourselves over all those things? Anyway, okay, well, that's a ramble. That discussion is a total like deep den type of discussion. Anyone who's interested in more discussions about how to, kind of counteract like the devil on your shoulder, essentially, this is the stuff of the deep den, which is our main member funded area. Okay, so let's see. Oh, okay, yeah. So Deneen is in Georgia, and going to Ohio, that is amazing. And then Sue was saying she thinks Evansville. I would check that, Sue. Definitely look it up because I don't think it goes through Evansville, but Evansville is really cool. So that's awesome. And and Tommy's near Houston. So Houston, I can't remember. I don't think it's quite in the band, but you're drivable. You're drivable for sure. Yep. So and Rosie in Delaware. And so you guys, so you're maybe drivable. No, that would be a long drive, wouldn't it? Well, no, it's all drivable. I could even drive. So anyway, but we have Jackie Pick is getting together with some girls in Atlantic City. And I don't know, we might have a few other things crop up as these weeks go by. And I'm going to I'm going to put that on my list because, okay, area meetups. Okay. And we're just getting super organized about this. Okay. Carolyn, I'm in Virginia in the band of nothing. Okay. But Virginia was the home to Frederick Rose Sr., who was the Rose who then migrated to Tennessee, then Illinois, then Arkansas. And Frederick Rose was my great grandpa. Good things come out of Virginia, Carolyn. Okay, so now, so that's what we're all doing. Okay, I don't care where you are. Okay, you're in Australia, you're like hanging on the upside down on the globe. Okay, and you can't see the eclipse. Okay, or whatever. You're on Mars. That's all right. If you have an internet connection on Mars, you can join us. Then, or like Martian telepathy, you can join us. Surely, if they have telepathy, They are already spying on us, so you're welcome. You're welcome to join us. Everyone can join us. And those are kind of like the big macro things that we have going on, and that we will be doing some live streaming, but also just like content coming out of our meetup, and it will just spill out all over the place. Okay. So we don't entirely know what some of the restrictions, not restrictions, but constraints will be on some of the things like live streaming. But I'll tell you, we're going to be there and we're going to give it a shot. And we will definitely successfully live stream. The schedule for that will be coming out in the next 2 days. So wait for that. It will be great. Okay. It will be amazing. Okay. So, because now I want to just shift a little bit into more, if that was all macro, everyone's doing it. We're all doing it. We're all working on our goals. We're working on our brains, guys, working on our brains to really launch ourselves. That is the macro, and we're all doing it. You're doing it. Okay. If I have to come kick your butt. So, can you imagine how it, like, let's clone me and I'll, fly me around and I'll come and find you on your porch. kick your butt. Okay. No, you don't need, you're going to tie into this and do it and see the advantage of all this. Okay. Let me have a little coffee, collect myself. We're moving on to part 2. Okay. I promise. Oh yeah. Eleanor, you saw the one in 2017, not 2027, you guys, but yeah, totally amazing. Okay, yeah, Sue will be in Chicago that day. Okay. Carolyn, the band of nothing. I'm just seeing that again. Come on. But maybe that's the perfect segue into our next little bit on the Eclipse logistics, because I have something to tell you about that. But I need more coffee for this. Who else loves the cafeteria style like mugs for coffee? Perfection. Yeah, Cammie, I see Cammie backstage. Cammie's here. We've got Cammie, Teresa, Anna, Georgia, and Cammie's like, yes, on the cafeteria mugs. Mm-hmm. What? Marcia. Okay. I'm writing this. Okay, Marcia Mallory. I'm taking note. And now, Marcia, we need to check on this. Seriously. It would be, you would know if you have a Frederick Rose in your tree. It would be Frederick if we're related, or William. Okay, it could be William. William was Frederick's father, and William, I think, passed in Virginia. I need to look that up, but it was Frederick who then gallivanted. Okay. But if you have a Frederick, for sure, junior, senior, there were 2, and there's a William. We could be related. Oh, I'm excited about that. Okay. Okay. This is totally awesome. Okay, you guys, Eclipse Logistics and the craziest meetup that ever was and ever will be is about to happen. And I want to give you guys a little bit of background on why this is really kind of different. Okay, first of all, traveling into a band of totality for something like an eclipse is always crazy. It doesn't matter where, when, whatever the case, because so many people will want to view it. It is a narrow band of geography. In 2017, it was more complicated because it was more narrow. Number one, it went through more secluded areas, so there was less lodging. And I hate to even say what we paid a night in a basic hotel. We had 2 rooms for 4 nights, and it was, okay, can't even say. Don't want to say. Was it worth it? It was worth every single penny, especially since my granddad paid for it and it was inheritance. Okay, so, but I am amazed by the profound effect that it had on my life and the amazing experience that it was, which is why I wanted to do this thing with Eat Like a Bear and announce this a year ago. And so I'm going to tell you guys a little bit of a story, because it's going to give you a little more background. I feel like it's a life lesson for us too. So you're going to cringe at some of this, but I feel like it's turning into an amazing life lesson. Okay, truly, I'm laughing. I'm laughing because you guys will cringe, but I really am like, interesting. Okay, so it was a year ago. I'm like, okay, we're going to do this big announcement, but I don't really have a plan. Okay, I don't have a plan at that point, but I have a dream. Okay, and my dream is that if we have this year of all of this amazing, life change, that we're all working on our goals and we can celebrate at the end of the year, how powerful would that be for us? I mean, I think amazing, amazing. So that's not wrong at all. But I thought it also gives me a year to really work out the details, and particularly the revenue for it and the funding for it. Because what's happened here at Eat Like a Bear, don't overly cringe with this. I've cringed for y'all, okay, already. So we're done with the cringing. But what's happened here at Eat Like a Bear is back in 20 and 21, we had a revenue model that generated enough revenue to create really kind of amazing structures in the community. And that revenue model kind of went away. Maybe it was COVID dependent, maybe who knows what. But I've been trying to get that back. But also, I thought, look, we're so hot what we're doing back here with all of our success, with our amazing success stories. Like Rosie, who just commented here. Rosie's success story is amazing. Cammie, who's backstage, who's just in a national magazine, amazing stories. And I thought, well, heck, let's, and I have the best before after eclipse story in the Milky Way universe, right? Okay. So we'll get sponsors for our big thing, and we have a whole year to get them. And it get me off my duff and actually go try to solicit sponsors. And so that was my big plan. And so I rented this block of cabins, and I thought, so this is truly, okay, cringe. Okay. No, this is a beautiful idea. I thought the sponsors because it's expensive to travel into an eclipse, as some of y'all are finding out. I thought with the sponsor money, we could bring people in and do video stories. Okay. And so there would be the cost of, bringing people in, and the cost of video production and that sort of thing, which you can do kind of on a shoestring, but it's still money. It's not nothing at all, but we can be scrappy. It wouldn't take massive sponsorships to do this. But that's a beautiful idea, but we need lodging, because what I did know from the past eclipse is that the lodging goes fast and it gets very expensive. And so I got this block of cabins on an amazing 1,200 acre property, and thought, wouldn't that be an amazing place? Because it's gorgeous, gorgeous beyond like dreamland. And we could film there. Like, we could film us out being awesome on this 1,200 acres. And we could get permission from those property owners. It wouldn't be like getting permission from the national parks or something to film, because you have to get permission for stuff like that. And it would solve a lot of problems. And we'd be on this amazing property with these cabins. Okay. Beautiful idea. Truly beautiful. And I had a whole year to get sponsors. Okay. We don't have sponsors. Okay. And so I have been living in my own disappointment about that. And so let me just say that, and my own, like, and like, wow, because it wouldn't have been that much money. And it's such a disappointment when it's not that much, but you have zero. I put out a call for donations in January. It's like when we launched the Recipe Finder tool, and people put in, and I appreciate that. And I said, hey, we'll do this for our community storytelling project. And I even thought at that time, if we get enough, we can use that money to do this plan. Well, we didn't get enough for this. And I didn't want to, and this plan, while it's not super, super expensive, it's more than we got. And I wanted to make sure we kind of maximize those dollars from January. And so that's why, for instance, we're starting this series of digital interviews. I talked about it last week. I don't want to go on about that, but I am implementing something with that money that's going to probably we'll have, more as a community, we'll have more in our pocket from that. So that's what we're doing. So anyway, we have this block of cabins that I had this vision for, that, like, what do you do now? Okay, because it's time. We're 2 weeks away. We're 2 weeks away. But that was my thought. And that's why I was kind of sitting on these cabins, was like, we're going to fill them, and we're going to fill them. This is how we're going to fill them. Well, it's not how we filled them. because we didn't get sponsors. And we definitely, so anyone who wants to sponsor us, we're here and we're available. It's not easy to get sponsors. We don't fit in the usual groove of sponsors, by the way, and no one should, I try not to be offended by this. No one else should be offended by it, but it's true. It is a fact. So, okay, first of all, young, beautiful people fit really well in the groove. Okay, so don't be upset. It's okay. Okay. I didn't fit ever any of those criteria. Okay. And that's okay. But also, so in weight loss, we could have been making money on collagen or something all this time. And I'm just not going to do that. A big part of our success here is that we don't promote things that are going to, that don't matter for weight loss, things like that, even if they do generate revenue. And so we're not doing that, and not aligning with sponsors who have products like that. It's just not what we do here. And so we're not changing just because of this. And so here we are with cabins. All right. And in a serious moment of, is the glass half full or half empty? And so this is what I want to tell you about the life lesson and about what we are about to do is, while all that is true, what I just said, there's another very, very interesting commentary in this. Allow me another sip of coffee before I tell you this, because this might blow your mind. So bear with me a little bit longer. And all of you are going to have such FOMO that you're not about to join us in Arkansas, but it's okay, because there's a path for everybody. There is. Okay. The cabins. The only reason I even secured those cabins was because of that bigger vision, right? Otherwise, it would be completely insane to get those cabins. And it was a year ago that it was February that we started talking with the cabin people. No, we really started talking with them in November, and then more in February. And we'd secured them by 1 year ago. And then, and so I don't know if you guys, okay, you guys don't know this. Most of you don't know this. So when I went back a year and a half ago to explore this area to visit for the eclipse, I made a lot of discoveries about my own family heritage, and connected with so many people in this region, because this is where my people come from. Okay. And I have lots of emerging great little stories about my people. Okay. And including, you will see, I should post this in this video. There is a story about my great great grandma and a contribution that she made in the Ozarks. I won't say what it is, because if you've read it, you know what it is. And if you haven't, it's the punchline. Okay. And so her name is Nellie Morrison, and my great great grandma. And this thing that this contribution she made a little later in life. And we went to visit it in June of last year. So I was there in April. We had already secured the cabins. And then my sister and dad and I went again in June. And one of the things we were chasing in June was more history about Nellie Morrison, my great great grandma. Okay. Who already had a special place in our hearts, given what we'd already found. And we knew where she lived in most of her adulthood, and where she passed, and her grave and stuff like that. And one of her grandkids is still alive. Well, as we were there, we were seeking out the location of her own birthplace, and we found it. I mean, an amazing story. But more amazing is this. We then were looking into, okay, because Nellie Morrison is a white woman who was trained in plant medicine by a native, probably a Shawnee, in her youth, or, probably late teens, 20, something like that. So probably a Shawnee, based on what tribes or where she lived. There's, some family oral history about it. And so she was trained by probably a medicine man or shaman. And based on where the Shawnee were, based on where her house was, I started asking about where is it that she and her husband first lived? Because that is where they would have birthed my great grandma. Okay. Can I even say this? Okay, we got the cabins in a year ago or February of 2023, and we're there in June chasing down the Nellie Morrison story. And we discovered that the actual birthplace of my great grandma, Nellie's daughter, is the actual land of these cabins. And so I am in this. So is the glass half full or half empty? These are cabins I would have never secured because why would I have? It's a huge property. What would we have done with that? And it ends up being the birthplace of my great grandma. I mean, I can't even believe that. None of it. I mean, anyone, the people who've helped me back in Arkansas with the genealogy and stuff, they're just like, and so we have so those cabins are going to end up we have some of them are difficult because it's a big property, and some of them require a high clearance vehicle, but there's a couple in a certain area together, and those are going to serve as kind of a central hub for people for, hey, drop by and have coffee kind of a thing. You're going to hear about the cabins, and it's those two that will probably be the key place. If the roads and everything else allow it, there will be other areas of the property that will be accessible, but it's hard to know. It's Arkansas, it's there's tornadoes out there, you just never know. But we will be on the actual literal, like, my ancestral land unexpectedly. Okay. So I don't know what the heck's going to happen on this land on, that week. But I'm totally there for it. Totally there for it. Because that's some crazy stuff right there. Super crazy stuff. And so from those cabins, and the word cabin does not do them justice. These are really nice lodges. And from those lodges, we will be broadcasting live, and we'll be meeting, we'll be just like in fellowship, having the coffee. Maybe they'll have cups like this. We'll see. Maybe we should find out. Maybe bring some cups in, the proper cups. And the feel of every day, because we're going to be there for a week. A week is a long time. Like, it's easy to get tired and worn out. We're going to be ready to really engage the way each of us need to. And so the feel of every day is going to look something like this. So, because we have the cabins, but we have people in the area too. We have, like, we're kind of scattered about because it's very rural, very rural. But we will have a central meeting place for anyone who wants it in the morning for coffee. Maybe you're, far away and you're not going to travel in for coffee. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. It's completely flexible, but there will be a meetup spot for that, for just hanging out. And that property in itself. So I was just talking with the chamber executive director. I was going to say producer, not a producer, director of the county. And we were brainstorming different places and talking about the Buffalo River and this and that. And then we just kept coming back to the point that this property and the 1,200 acres is flippin' crazy amazing. And so those mornings we will have the coffee, but also, like, maybe I'll have coffee for a few minutes, but then whoever wants to, we're going to take a stroll, a hike, whatever it is, whatever pace, over there on the property. So it's just right there. It's not like traveling or whatever else. It's there. It's right on the property. But you're tired, you just want more coffee, we got you covered, because because there's the porch. You know what I mean? Like, so we will have that, getting together, enjoying the coffee, but then maybe breaking out. Okay, take a stroll, or someone's taking a shorter stroll. Others are taking a longer stroll. That's fine. We can totally do that. And so we'll have that kind of getting together in the mornings. We'll have a one meal plan, and wait for that. If you're coming, there will be details on that. We're trying to keep it super simple. We're not going to get all caught up in that. We're going to eat well, but keep it simple. Okay. And then in the afternoons, we will have an activity where we go out into the region, and that schedule is like forthcoming in, let's say, 24 hours. But it will be, for instance, we've talked about going to Witt's Springs and the Richland waterfalls. That would be a really great afternoon activity. So we've already had like the coffee, the strolling hiking, the sitting by the river right there, because there's a river that runs through the property. And then we have our meal, we go to the waterfalls. Okay, so that would be one of the days. Another day would follow a similar framework, but we wouldn't go to the waterfalls. We would go to the town of Leslie, which is an amazing little gem in itself and a whole other like little itinerary. But so each day will have a very similar structure, but with a different kind of afternoon activity, the eclipse day being the key viewing of the eclipse. And so anyone who plans to join us in person, okay, let me see. We're at 52 minutes in. I'm going to put that because I'm going to send out an email. Needs to get with us because we're going to have signups for different things. We need to know it. We need to know who you are for a number of, we've got all kinds of reasons we need to know. Okay. That's going to be the feel of every day. Now, people I expect will join us one day, but not another day. And that's great. That, I mean, however it works, it's going to be very much flexible and very much mix and match. I am kind of pleased about how it's turning out. I'm and amazed and really like this about the point that how did I accidentally rent my great grandma's birthplace for this? I did. Okay. So anyway, wait like in the next 24 hours, logistics. And if you wonder, like, why did Amanda take so long? I'm sorry. But now you have some bit of an understanding. I had to go through my own, my own morning about, I had a big old plan. I did. It was a good plan. And it didn't work. So how is it that we can be flexible in our lives and look at the glass half full? And what if we look at it half full and realize we're on the birthplace of our great grandma? What? Okay. Unexpected things happen in life. Let's just be flexible and go with it. But you know what? And we will have more coming out in the next 24 hours on logistics. Let me say real quick, anyone who's really, so was it Jen who posted about she's going to be in Branson and coming in every day? Anyone who's that far away, that's a long old commute. Okay. We have a few beds that so available for Deep Den members and I've posted that in the Deep Den and we need some money for them. Okay. So they're not free. But they're actually pretty well priced considering the cost of Eclipse lodging and definitely a shorter commute than Branson, but Branson's amazing. And so there is an amazing itinerary to be developed around being in Branson. So anyone who's kind of far out there, let us know. And especially if you're interested in being in one of those beds, it's shared lodging but it's not all stacked up. Like we're not going to be crowded lodging. It's nice. It's nice, but you would need at this point definitely a high clearance vehicle. The two places where you don't need the high clearance vehicle are full and committed. And people who've already expressed interest, I've got you on my list. I just haven't assigned beds officially yet, but I will do that. And so anyone who wants to put in to get beds or whatever, we have one couple who's expressed interest. If you are a couple, please let me know super soon because we can accommodate a couple of couples pretty nicely, but you need high clearance vehicles. Okay. Everybody coming in at this point needs high clearance vehicles. And yeah. So Rhonda says, yeah, can't you just ask your viewers? Yeah. So this is how we filled them, Rhonda. So we do have a few spots. And it's not even about it's just about like I had that whole vision, and so yeah, it's just a matter of thinking about it differently. I kind of feel like maybe it's going to be more amazing than maybe my vision. Okay. So yeah, no, I'm not worried about filling the cabins at this point. We do have a few beds. So people who, especially if we had somebody who was located near Ponca, and that was pretty far afield too, but she's canceled. And but people in a case like that, like move in closer, when we've got some places. And so, yeah. And Julia, so we're in Arkansas. So we are in Searcy County. We have people staying our location is in St. Joe, right on the Buffalo River. And we have people staying in Marshall and Leslie as well. And I feel like more far afield from that is getting a little bit far. We do have someone who is purposefully in Mountain View, and that is for her other reasons, but it's like serendipitous that that's where she planned to be. And she's also part of our community, so she's going to be meeting up with us. Mountain View is about an hour away from where we are, and it's its own great place. But yeah, I don't expect she's coming in every day, but she'll be meeting up with us. So we are especially encouraging people to meet up with us on the Saturday, and we will have details about where that is. And details, I'm not going to make public the exact location, because especially for the eclipse itself, it could get crazy, and it is not going to be open to the public, and we don't need to put more pressure on the property owners. But for people in our community who are coming in, you can join us. But stay in contact on that, because you might not want to join us. Okay, there's reasons it's crazy. There are circumstances under which you might not want to join us. Yeah. Let's see. And yeah, and Rhonda is saying, yeah, such synchronicities. So I'm going to tell you guys, I am actually staying in Arkansas. So after, and my 7 days, because my whole thing is like eat and go be awesome. Okay. My 7 days, and in my 30 days, I was hiking every day, which was so great and wonderful. And now in my 7 days, my go be awesome thing and project is going to be chasing down some of these family stories. So I'm really excited about that. Yeah. And, and Rhonda says that Marshall is her last name and Leslie is her sister's middle name. That is amazing. Okay. So now, guys, I've talked way too long because we have Georgia, Anna, and Cammie back there. Oh, we've lost Teresa. Teresa, who's going to view this in Texas. Now, Cammie, I think I'm going to bring up Cammie because I think Cammie is viewing it from Texas too. But Cammie, let's talk about what goals, what awesomeness do you have going and getting prepared for April, Cammie?
Hi, how's everybody doing? My goals are pretty much to stay in the framework, because when I deviate, I put myself in such a frenzy. And I know a lot of people out there, they want to stick to it and be strong. And lately, I have got myself so nervous of going off track because I'm allowing my husband and my son to talk me into things. So, but he tries. He really is trying, but he's lost his go, and he's eating candy at night and stuff and offering it, and I have to walk away because I get myself. I think I get a panic attack when I don't stay in my framework. I love how I feel. I will be 71 in July. I don't want to go reverse. So I have to stand my ground, and I have to prep, and I have to have everything ready. And if they don't want to eat with me, then I do make them other things, but I stay away from it because I put myself in a panic. I don't know if anybody else does that. I fell and broke my knee May 31st because I slipped because of my weight. And then August 15th of 2022, I had a change of mindset. You came across the feed and my heart leaped, and I said, that's it. I am done. I am going forward. And I believe everybody's different. For me, I have to stay on track. I have to train on different ways. I have to stay going my way, which is your way.
Okay,
I will be in Central Texas for the Eclipse with Dad. Ranch.
your connection is really poor, so you're cutting out a little bit, but I got what you're saying, Cami. And what I'd like you to work on in these next couple of weeks, because you're saying you go into like a panic attack when you diverge from the eating. And that, first of all, let me just point out, with all of us, there is a cost to the eating that's more than just the calories. And it's things like the panic attacks, which are the costs. And so to recognize those as costs, but also, Cami, I think that all of us, if we can shift from those responses of things like the negative panic attacks, in maybe start working on integrating some more things in your life that allow you to focus on the positive, like the positive world out there, and to have those visions, so that because I don't want you back there kicking yourself and all that and being in a panic attack. Um, you do need to get the husband to not, that's one thing to do, but to maybe you said, like, it's all out of sight for me. But and I think you're a praying person too. So maybe you go by the river, okay, and you're praying and really focusing on the positive about what vision can I have for myself, keep in front of me, that's going to help me not have those panic attacks, so that when this thing happens, like, no, shift into, no, what am I doing now that's going to, what's my, how am I, okay, how do I learn from this thing that I just did? So husband just tempted me, I ate it, that's too bad. And next time I'm going to do it a little bit differently. But try to shift your mind and your heart to something positive, and maybe just those positive views of what your future life is going to be like. Don't spend time in the anxiety and any of that. There's no good in it. We know that, right? I mean, we know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm positive that I don't want to revert back. And, only doing this less than 2 years, I have a history, as everyone else does, of eating the wrong things, going back and saying I failed and stuff. And I'm positive that I don't want to go that way. I have the panic attack not because I ate something, because it was offered to me, and if I go off framework, I'm going to be very, very, very sad. That, I'm positive I want to stay where I'm at. So I think I don't overdo it. I stay the framework. I don't deviate. And people around me don't understand me. Oh, I have small groups on Wednesday nights and Thursdays, and I make a lot of food. They bring a lot of food. I just drink my tea, and I don't join in with them because I am fearful of one is going to lead to many, and I'm going to go backwards. So I have a healthy fear, but in retrospect, it isn't that healthy if I'm scared with all this food around me.
Yeah, because we all just need to get to the point of, okay, so there's food around us, so what? I mean, that's our goal, really, right? Like, so what? We're not eating it. We're just, we're not worried about all that. That's where we need to get to. And so, you know what? Let's just continue this discussion. And because, I mean, so Cammie's in the deep den, and let's continue this discussion, because really, it's you're mentally putting too much focus onto what you can't or are not wanting to eat. And somehow we just need to shift to essentially not paying attention to it. Yeah, there's all this stuff around. So I've gotten to the point where, I mean, I could walk into a giant birthday party with everything you might imagine, and I'm okay. I'm okay if I don't eat it. I'm okay if I just, like, shut it off. And now I'm not to the level, maybe I will be someday, where I can eat one or whatever, but it's easier for me to just not any of it. So, yeah.
Okay.
And so Anna is saying you don't have to be afraid, but know that you are wise. Yeah, and I think leaning into that positive affirmation of yourself in that moment, rather than like this focus on, I can't have that, and being fearful of if I have that. You just don't
Right.
have. You know, you need to get to the point of, I'm just not going to have it and whatever. So what? I mean, because, you know, we all know, I mean, it's just the truth that we all would love to just live in that world where we could just eat it all.
Yes.
Yeah. So, oh, okay. Faith is recommending Philippians 4. Okay. So, okay, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's see. So we're generally religion free at Eat Like a Bear. Let me just put a little asterisk. But I did know, you know, but I feel like each of us, whatever our beliefs are, we should lean into those. And so that's why I mentioned it with Cami, and for Cami to get out like in a place of prayer by the river. So and maybe if somebody I'm going to say maybe if someone's an atheist. I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe if you're an atheist, none of that vibe isn't going to work. I don't know. I have no idea. Do it or don't do it. However it is, it's all good. So, okay. TC says, I tell the small group that I am not hungry. Yeah. Or I already ate or whatever else that, yeah, exactly. And so Kelly asks, where will you view the eclipse? Okay, so our exact location is not going to be public, so you can email us and we can let you know. But like I said, it's private property and it's going to be closed, but we will be able to get some people in. So, we won't put public where it is. Okay. So Cami, okay, we'll have an ongoing discussion about this. This is, you know, it's an interesting question, really, and that you're. And it's a switch that needs to flip in you somehow. So we should talk through it and figure that out. So
Okay.
it's a lot of times it's sometimes easy to flip it once we kind of know that we need a switch and we start looking for it. You know what I mean? Then it's like, oh, psht, it can happen like that. So, but it's complicated. It's complicated, but that switch can just happen. So
Yeah.
that's what we're working for, Cami. Okay.
Oh, ma'am.
Okay. All right. All right. And so Tommy asks, have the car stickers been sent out? Yes, the last batch went out Saturday, and I'll have to make sure. Tommy, were you in it? And so yours might have gone out Saturday, which today is Wednesday.
I have to go.
Check the mail.
Love you.
Love you, Cami. Okay.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. So I've got Georgia and Anna back there now too. Who is ready to come on up? Georgia or Anna? Let's see. Oh, let's saw both at the same time. I'm bringing up Georgia. Okay, Georgia.
I was going to say, go ahead and hit Anna. Hi, everybody. When we were talking to Papa Rose, he touched me so much. But my goal, I had made a video about walking down my road, and that it was going to be a goal that I could do it by myself and, you know, without anything. Well, I'm going to do a little video today and everything. And my challenge, since it's 2 weeks till Emily and I leave to go to Arkansas. And so I'm going to do a 7-day challenge. Every day I want to get farther down the road. And in a week, I want to be all the way down the road and all the way back up. And that's what my 7-day challenge is.
That is amazing, Georgia.
Yeah.
That is just now. Okay. Now, anybody who's having like working on mobility, you know, you're keeping that goal in front of you and you're doing what you can do, but don't risk injury or any of that, right? Because that's the key.
Calvin is walking with me.
Okay.
He said he would walk with me just to make sure that I'm safe.
Well, and I think the importance in this stage is really just being out and being mindful of that goal. Mm-hmm. Because then, you know, because look, let's be real. The thing is that you have to be able to be to the point of, like, your eating needs to be on point to lose the weight. Now, Georgia has complicated issues going on, but still we have to be implementing really pretty precisely. And that takes its own energy. It takes its own energy, but part of what drives that energy is having this goal. And there's no better way to reinforce the goal than being out there. Even if it's just, you know, you drive to that spot on the road and you get out of your car, if you can get out of your car, and you stand there and you take it in. And if that's where you are physically, or maybe maybe someone's driving you and you're not even getting out of the car and you're just in the passenger seat and you roll the windows down. If that's the stage and you take it in and use it to reinforce, because what it's doing is it's reinforcing the decisions that you're making all throughout the day.
Yep.
That's 100% what it's doing. And
Yep.
and then you will get further and further down that road.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, Georgia,
last night I took a picture of it coming down and another picture of the sunset going away from the house. So, and I posted it in the water cooler last night. So, yeah.
and so then as you're out there in your 7 days, this is like Georgia's pre 7 days, you're then thinking about what will be your big impactful thing that you're going to do starting the week of April 9th.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Of course, Georgia will be in one of those lodges, and so you all will see Georgia Bear live and on, well, like she is now, but we'll just all be together. Okay, that's cool. Okay, wonderful. Yeah, and so Lana is saying, I love you, Georgia. So proud of you. Be safe. I want to hug you soon, and you're going to get to. Isn't that
Yes.
amazing?
I'm going to
Isn't
be
that-
squeezed. Lots of squeezing.
Yeah. And speaking of that, let's bring up the other person who will be squeezable in Arkansas on school. How you doing, Hannah? Oh, I haven't got, oh, you know what? I need to send out that link so people can grab a shirt if they want to.
Yeah.
I need to get my shirts. That's a good looking shirt. So thanks
Mine
to
should be
Jennifer
here
Morris.
today.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. Thanks to Jennifer Morris who designed that and set it
Yeah.
up.
They're awesome. They're awesome and it fits great. I want to say I have 129 miles left. Actually, I did about 10 yesterday, so only about 119 left. And you can see up there, I've got all of those, and I've just got those last 3 ready to put my
Yay.
stickers in. And I'm looking at them right now. Make every step count.
Those are cute.
You can do hard things and make today awesome. And I got back out to do a walk. I mean, you were talking about your dad. We were talking about your dad and, Papa Rose last week. And I want to tell you that was the most perfect live for my husband and I to be watching from the hospital. And he's home now and he's moving around. He's doing great. And I really appreciated that video and that he was able to listen to it too. So I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
I know it won't be long. So Anna and I are flying out together right out of Fresno. And our social game will be on point, won't it, Anna? So you guys get ready because you're going to see us. Maybe we'll even live stream from the airport floor where we will be sleeping.
Right.
We're making a big old commitment getting out there to Arkansas. Big old commitment. Yep.
I don't know if I'll have room for it, but if I do, I'll bring our lettuce blanket.
Yep. Okay. Okay, cool. Very good. Oh, yeah. Jennifer Lanning. Jennifer, you're the one who's in Branson. So did you hear what I said? Jennifer, did you hear what I said about the cabins and about that is a long old commute. That is a long old commute. And there's another option for you. So you can go back to about 52 minutes into this. Anyone who's come in late and hear more about that, more about the logistics of all this and what we're about to do in Arkansas, which is just totally amazing. But yeah, Jennifer it looks like really great place in Branson, but it's a long old way from us, but it's amazing in itself. It's not quite in the path of totality also. It's everybody. So I'm going to say that again, because there's lots of misinformation out there right now. And people are saying, oh, well, I'm in 98% totality. That's close enough. Nope. It's either or. It's truly either or. And the closer you can get to center line, the longer the duration will be. But you can get a pretty healthy ways in and have a really great experience. You don't have to be right at the center line. Yeah. So it will be more and more crowded at that center line. And then, as you go out. Yeah. But don't settle for 98. Don't settle for it. All right. Okay. Very good. But yeah, Jennifer, so check in. So Jennifer had commented in the new Facebook group that we have. And so let's get a discussion going because and make a plan. So in the next 24 hours, we're going to have our itinerary and you can see how you want to jump into it from a location like Branson, or how to even think about it. So but this is so exciting, you guys. This is really, really exciting. Anyone who's come in late, you want to go back and listen to this, because I yapped and yapped about the goals and challenges that we have coming in this community. That is the bigger picture and the bigger thing that we're doing. It's easy to get caught up in this whole, we're about to meet up in person, and it's amazing all in itself. But all of us, the important thing is that we kind of are working it all out kind of right, in a way that we're using this and leveraging this to just make an amazing change for ourselves. So, and Julia has 2 minutes of totality at her house. Julia, I think that is amazing. And that is perfection. So you might be tempted to go more into the center line with sort of only 2 minutes. I would just like go totally zen in my backyard. I think that is just beautiful, really beautiful. Yeah. That's great. Congratulations for being in the band of totality. That is amazing. So, okay, you guys, and anybody who has family anywhere, any way you can like get into the band of totality somehow, you should do it. There will be a lot of opportunity for people across the Midwest to drive in and to view it. So yeah, but look for emails from me, especially if you're coming in person, and we're working on really nailing down the itinerary. That will be done in the next 24 hours. And getting some of the people who are coming in person, I hear there's little craft projects in the works that require names. And so we need to get names if you want a little craft project done in your honor. So we will be putting that out. So yeah. All righty. Oh, and Julie is hosting 50 people. That's great. I love it. I love it. Okay, Julia, make your goal big and have a great event. That is wonderful. Okay. And to let everybody know, in terms of that week and the eclipse itself, we won't be live streaming the eclipse, and NASA will. Okay. Like we'll let NASA live stream the eclipse, but what we don't know, and what we're pretty sure, is that day that the stress on all of the internet will be insane. And so we don't even know. We're not counting on anything. We will take lots of photos and we will report at least later, but I'm pretty sure we won't be live. We won't live stream the eclipse itself, because that will be our moment to be just very focused and at peace and taking it in. And anyone sort of in Australia, watch the NASA live stream. They will do it right, and that will be amazing in itself. So yeah, okay. But we will have a live stream probably on Saturday. But wait for all those schedules and whatever else. All these details are coming soon, and they will be amazing. They're just not anything like I expected they would be a year ago, and that's okay. Okay. So, okay, you guys. So we're gonna hang up now, and I'm gonna be back here working on the eclipse schedule. Deep dinners are going into the hub right now, and I'll see y'all on the other side. And people in our little eclipse planning meeting, you'll be hearing from me. Probably it'll be like rapid fire questions today as I work on this, and we're gonna get this itinerary totally done, because we're out of time. Okay. Okay, very good, everybody. Okay, you guys, I love you guys. See y'all real soon. Go work on your goals. This is your time to reflect, to ponder, to get ready, okay? And just like ready your mind and all of that to make your most impactful goal. So, okay, look at it. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, Jennifer. Oh, and Jennifer says Jennifer. Okay, so I'm writing you down. Jennifer may join us at the cabins. We do have some spots right now. So Jennifer, I am assigning beds. I know we have a few beds left at this point. And anyone who's asked, you're on the list. Okay. And Jennifer, you were going to be next on my list, because it's like Branson, that's got to be the furthest out of people who are intending to commute in. Okay. Because there's some people who will be not at the cabins, but in other amazing little places, truly, but closer. Okay. Okay, so you guys, so Jennifer, get with us, and this is what I'm working on today, and I'm excited to just have it all ready so that we can just you know go and have the best event that maybe we've ever had on
It's
the
gonna be
birthplace of my
wonderful.
boyfriend. Yeah. Okay. Okay, you guys. Very good. I really am going to hang up now. I promise. I'm really doing it. Okay. You all don't believe me anymore. I see. I should just keep talking for like another hour. Okay. Okay. No, but then I wouldn't get the schedule done. Okay. Anywho, so very good. And just looking up, I probably missed a bunch of questions, but you guys, you know where to find me. And everyone, take care, and we'll just be working back here and look for emails. Look for emails about this in the next couple of days, especially people traveling in. Okay. Okay. Very good. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.